I know I'm Norman Freeman. I am the spiritual leader here at John Knox. And on behalf of the John Knox community, we'd like to thank you for joining us at this time that we have set aside to remember those that we loved ones that we've lost. It will bring a smile to each of your faces as you remember her. Barbara Pessin, March 29th, 1936 to May 10th, 2026. She joined the John Knox community in 2019. Barbara passed away at 89, peacefully on March 10th, 2026 in Gardens West, where she received loving care. Known for her creativity, humor, charm, and style, her quick wit, playful sarcasm, and contagious laughter, and could light up a room anytime. She leaves behind her life partner, Mary Fehrenbach, as well as two sisters, a brother, a son, in addition to nieces and nephews. She was born in Richmond, Virginia, and she went on to reside in Manhattan, New York. For most of her life, as a successful executive for top-tier agencies including Revlon, General Food, Sears, Kimberly-Clark, and Avon Products. After retirement, Barbara moved to her home in Sag Harbor, Long Island, New York. When it was decided that it was time for a little bit more sunshine, she and Mary selected Heritage Towers in John Knox Village in 2019, November 2019.
The salesperson at that time, she's no longer here, showed us an empty apartment. And we said, well, it's hard to tell, we want to live there. So she said, you'll see Tom Keenan's apartment, and you'll know sort of how it looks furnished. This apartment is amazing, and it's always awesome. So we walked into the closet, and I saw this poster of this beautiful man, and I gave Barbara the elbow, and I said, uh-oh, I think he's one of the group. So sure enough, we became friends, and here we are living happily ever after as friends. At John Knox, at Heritage, because of him.
It is with deep sadness that I reflect upon the death of a beloved friend whose presence brought joy, warmth, and unmistakable charm to all who knew her. A natural storyteller, sharp creative strategist, Barbara built a career in marketing, defined not just by results, but by imagination. Her quick wit and clever perspective made her a joy to be with. Someone who could turn even the most ordinary moment into something memorable. She will be remembered as both brilliant and kind, and equally ready with a smart solution or a perfectly timed joke. Beyond her professional accomplishments, Barbara will be known for her loving heart and gentle spirit. Barbara had a way of making people feel seen and valued, whether through a thoughtful word, a warm smile, or her steady presence during difficult times. I always called Barbara a classy chassis. She carried a fun, signature sense of style and always was a smart dresser with a keen eye for detail that created and it resulted in her creative spirit. Her vests, she had a variety of those. They were unmatched. Effortlessly polished, she expressed herself not just through her work, but in how she showed up in the world. To friends, family, she wasn't simply sweet. She was someone who cared deeply, laughed easily, and loved wholeheartedly. Barbara will leave behind a legacy of laughter, creativity, kindness, and connection that will not be forgotten. She will be deeply missed and fondly remembered by all whose lives she touched. And Barbara told me before she passed, please take care of Mary. I love her and let her know she's always loved.
Mary and Barbara and I moved in about the same time to John Knox Village, and I'm not even sure when we first met, except that I know I met you right away. But the most wonderful thing was somehow it happened that Jan Spalding and I joined Mary and Barbara on a Rhodes Scholar trip on the Queen Mary to England for a
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
I didn't write this, and I
2 weeks.
for a theater cruise. And the cruise itself was terrific, but that wasn't the best part. It was being with Mary and Barbara. We never stopped laughing. We had so much fun. It was just such a delight, and I deeply, deeply began to appreciate and love them. And share with Mary this sadness. But Barbara left a lasting impression on anybody who was privileged to have some time. And I count myself fortunate to be one of them.
I got to know Barbara and Mary as soon as they moved in, because Mary and I worked together on the dining services committee. She is the vice chair, me as the chair, we worked well together. Obviously, we got to meet with Barbara often. I was on the wait list to be on the lake. Finally, my number came up and I moved on the lake. Barbara, in her collection from so many family pieces that she had, chose this magnificent hand-carved and hand-painted duck decoy. Since now I lived on the lake, it was time that I should have that. And they brought it over, and it'll be forever a permanent treasure to always think of Barbara whenever I see that beautiful decoy. Thank you.